Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Warner and I'm the new social media director for Stamp Simply Ribbon Store. And welcome to our very first Facebook Live video. Sharon and I thought it would be fun if I pop on from time to time and highlight some of our stamps and die sets. And today I'm going to walk you through one of our best sellers. It's called Coffee or Tea. It's a die set and has a coordinating stamp set. Sharon has joined me. She will be in the chat throughout this video. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them there and she can respond. I also want to give a special shout out to my mom who is able to watch me for the very first time today. So hi Mom. I am, give me a second here while I flip this phone around and get it set up into my workspace. All right, so while I'm getting this set up in my stand, I'm also going to be pulling this video up on the Facebook page to make sure that I am going live. And let's see here. Well, I'm not sure if I'm live yet. I think I am. There I am. All right. So here is the die set. This is a set of 9 dies. It has 2 size of cups, each complete with a handle and a stem. There is a little tag here, which is a tea bag or it's a sentiment tag. And it has the words coffee and tea. And let me get a quick measurement here for you. All right, so the large cup measures about 2 3/4 inches wide and about 2.5 inches tall, and the smaller measures 2 inches wide and about 1 7/8 inches tall. So when you cut them out, it's going to look like this. And that's the first thing I do when I get die sets, is I like to cut them out in a couple different colors and just sort of play around and see what looks good and how to combine things. The stem could be used many ways. You can even combine them and make sort of a fancy flourish. We've actually seen the stem be used as a handle, so that would give it an extra fancy flair look to it. And of course, if you remove all the pieces, this on its own could be used as a vase, and it could be done really pretty with stamped flowers coming out of it or die cuts, whatever you choose. And now we have the words coffee and tea. And what I love about this is the thin, delicate font that Sharon chose for this. And it really fits into the vision that she had for this die set. There are a lot of dies out there that are of the coffee mugs that are the tall to-go cups, sort of like a Starbucks cup. And she really wanted something that would be for the crafter who had a love for traditional teacups, something you might find out of your fine china set. So let me show you some examples of some cups. Now this one, I made a little delicate cup just out of some patterned paper, and I encourage you to Google vintage teacups. You will have inspiration for days. One of the trends that I saw through a lot of the china patterns was the gilding with gold and silver, and I achieved this look by die cutting this out of the mirrored cardstock, and I just added some pearls and a little metallic string and a little flower. And here's a little cup. This one is using the smaller size, and this one uses some specialty patterned paper from Kaisercraft, and for the handle and the edge, I just die cut it from some shimmer cardstock. I believe this is copper. And for the top, I just die cut it, trimmed it, slid it up, and adhered it underneath, and it gives it sort of that gilded look. Really pretty. And you know, you don't have to go with a pretty patterned paper. You can go with something a little more contemporary and get a whole different look and feel to your cups. Love this one. What I love about Kaisercraft is they have a lot of specialty papers. This one's got embossing in it. Some of them have glitter and things like that, and it really does lend itself nicely for pretty teacups. All right, let me share with you a card that I have up on my blog currently. I made this for the Coffee Lovers blog hop, and I wanted to share with you how I made this teacup. This uses a technique called inlaid die cutting, and it's actually really simple to do. Let me show you. So for this technique, you're going to want to cut 2 cups, and on one of them, you're going to die cut something out of it because that's how you get an inlaid look. Excuse me. So in this case, I used the small steam piece and I die cut it twice out of this cup and used it then as a flourish accent. And once you're done with that, you're going to glue them together, and this sort of creates an open well that you then can inlay your accent piece to it. So my card uses green cardstock, but you could also use patterned paper, or one idea that I thought of and I haven't had a chance to do is maybe to fill this up with some glossy accents and sprinkle glitter over it and let it dry, and I bet that would be a really, really pretty effect. Now let me show you this mug. This one is the larger size, and because of its larger size, I was able to fit in 3 of the flourishes. So these 2 are the small, and then this one down here is the large steam. And so I love how using these 3 together, you get sort of a nice flourish design. And I used the gold mirror cardstock on this, and it really sort of gives it that nice gilded look. Very, very pretty. I love this for Christmas cards. All right, let me show you the stamp set. So this stamp set is called Coffee or Tea, and it has 16 sentiments, and you'll notice that it does not have any cup images. And Sharon did this on purpose. She wanted this die set to be able to stand alone on its own, and you didn't necessarily have to buy a stamp set with it in order to make it work. But of course, she created this coordinating set which gives you endless possibilities for your cards or your scrapbook pages. And I wanted to mention that there are 4 sentiments that are sized perfectly to fit into this little tag die. We've got tea time, just for you, enjoy, and time for a cup. And of course, she made the font in this stamp set the same font as the die set, so everything coordinates perfectly. All right, I wanted to share with you a quick tip on how to adhere these words. They are thin and they can be a little tricky. So the best way I have found to adhere these is to use something like a quickie gel pen. And what you're going to do is you're going to trace it in a couple of times. So you're going to get a good layer of glue and then go in and add another layer. And the reason why you need it to be sort of a thick layer of glue is you're all familiar with how the dies work. When you run your die through, the cardstock gets sort of crushed into the shape of the lettering, and it scoops up and creates sort of a little valley along the back. And so you need to fill that up so that the glue actually touches the paper. And I know the store sells quickie glue pens. But if you don't have a glue pen, here is an idea that I use. So you're just going to add your glue. Any kind of wet glue will work. And you're just going to grab any piece of scrap piece of paper, and I use it as the corner as a tool. Okay, so you're just going to add little dots of glue. I like to make sure I add them to the high and the low points of your word. And of course, you're going to get glue all over your hand, and that's no big deal. All right, so you're just going to tap your word down. And then what I like to do is just take a clear stamping block and just set it down on top. This will give it some pressure and allow it to dry flat, as well as really allowing that glue to soak into the paper fibers. Now, one of the things I wanted to mention before I let you go is regarding this gilded look. There are a lot of other ways that you can achieve that aside from the mirrored cardstock. For instance, you can take a metallic Sharpie pen and you can sort of draw in the edging along the cups wherever you want it. And I know Sharon sells those at the store. And you can also dip these edges into your pigment ink and heat emboss them with silver or gold or copper or whatever embossing powder you have. So there's a couple of really good possibilities. So if you happen to be catching this on the replay and you have any questions, feel free to ask them. We do get notifications on any comments posted, so we can just jump in and answer any questions you have. And I think that that is it for today. Let me scroll really quickly and see if anybody has any questions for me. I don't think I saw any. I'm not really sure how to tell on this Facebook feed if I have any questions, so I'm just going to assume we don't. Okay, so I'm going to leave you today by sharing with you the motto that is written on all of our packaging. And I really think that this encompasses both my and Sharon's design aesthetic. And that is to keep it simple and make it pretty. And I want to thank you all for watching. Have a great day.